The girl had simply gone on a trip with her best friend, unaware that every move they made in the villa was being watched by a pervert hiding in the shadows. When the girl returned to the villa alone that evening, a man in black suddenly appeared and subdued Casey. In a critical moment, Casey bit him, causing him to release his grip. She quickly ran out, fortunately encountering a couple taking a walk. Seeing the girl in distress, the kind couple immediately helped her call the police. However, after the police investigated, they found nothing unusual in the room, suggesting it might have been a routine burglary. Given the poor security in the area, the police could only advise them to lock their doors and windows and wait until the next morning to discuss further. However, after this incident, Casey dared not stay there any longer. Just as they were discussing packing their bags to leave, there was a knock on the door. It was the villa's landlord, who had come to comfort them after learning of their ordeal. He stated that he would not collect rent from them for the next few days, and they could continue to stay there until the end of the holiday. Despite the landlord's warm gesture, the frightened girls refused his offer. After he left, they quickly packed their belongings and prepared to return home. However, they didn't realize that the landlord was the same perverted man in black, as there were still bite marks on his arm from when Casey had bitten him. The next morning, Casey was awakened by a series of urgent knocks on the door. When she opened it, she discovered it was once again the landlord of the seaside villa. He first used the excuse of coming to comfort Casey to gain access to her room. Then, while Casey wasn't paying attention, he secretly installed a listening device under the table to satisfy his perverted desires. After installing it, he quickly found an excuse to leave. Little did he know that Casey, who was highly vigilant, had already noticed the landlord's unusual behavior. After he left, Casey quickly got into her car and followed him discreetly. Sure enough, she soon discovered what the landlord was up to. After he left, Casey hurried to the nearby trash bin, retrieved the black bag the landlord had thrown inside, and opened it to find it filled with women's underwear. This clearly indicated that the landlord was definitely not a good person. Before Casey could figure out the situation, her ex-husband suddenly showed up for some reason. Facing this faithless man, Casey told him to leave immediately, but no matter how she tried to drive him away, he refused to leave. In a fit of anger, Casey had no choice but to turn and leave. Little did she know that by nightfall, when her ex-husband was preparing to sleep, the perverted landlord had already quietly appeared in the courtyard.